Hello again. My name is Mike. I'm a chaplain with Trinity of Christ Ministries. I'm also a relationship coach specializing in intimacy and infidelity. And this is part of our ongoing series on intimacy and infidelity. Today's video is mostly for the, I guess you would say, the betrayer or the cheater. Um, it, it, it basically is meant for the one that has betrayed their spouse to learn how to reconcile what they've done with their spouse, be it man or woman. Uh, I'm going to be honest, this video can be a little brutal on your feelings. Um, but given the situation, it's, kind of inevitable. So after the affair, we deal with the fallout. And again, this is mostly for the one that was unfaithful. Um, what can you do to make amends and try to reconcile the marriage and save the marriage? Well, the very first thing and the biggest thing that there is responsibility. If you're not willing to take responsibility for what you did, then reconciliation is it's going to be almost impossible. You have to take responsibility for what you did, your actions, because you are the one who made the choice to step outside of the marriage for whatever reason it is. And whatever reason it wasn't valid because there is no reason. There's no valid reason for ever stepping outside of your marriage, committing infidelity, having an affair. Uh, no matter what's wrong or you perceive that's wrong with your spouse, there's many other ways to handle that without cheating on your spouse. So responsibility is the most important factor uh, that you can control to help your spouse possibly reconcile the marriage and get on with the healing process. Um, you're most likely to get a lot of questions about the affair. Where did you meet? What time did you meet? Uh, you know, uh, those sort of details. What you said about this, what they said about that. Um, I understand from a human perspective, this can become annoying, especially when you've answered this question many, many, many times before. But you have to understand that the betrayed partner is going through a healing process. And asking these questions and getting answer to these questions are, you know, part of that healing process. It helps them process what happened to them and why it happened to them. And as the one who cheated, you are the only one who can answer those questions. When you're answering these questions, there's two things I want to warn you not to do. Don't trickle truth. Trickle truth is when you give a little detail, but not all the details. Then later on, this detail comes out. The betrayed partner feels betrayed all over again because you didn't tell them the first time. You left this part out. Uh, I'm not telling you to divulge every little detail, but if you're asked that detail, then give the detail and tell the truth because healing and reconciliation starts with the truth. You can't reconcile if you're still lying. It shows that you're being disingenuous on your part, and it shows you're not serious about really saving the marriage. So the truth is very important in healing the marriage. And given the full truth when asked is also very important. So don't let details come out later that should have been divulged today. You should have told your partner these details already so they don't find out later and become traumatized all over again. Um, the second part of that is do not divulge intimate details unless specifically asked for by your partner. Uh, Details involving intimacy, uh, frequency, positions, very intimate details about this betrayal can be very traumatizing to, your spouse. Um, some counselors will say not to divulge that information at all, and some will say only if they ask, and I tend to agree with the second group. Don't divulge these details unless they specifically ask for those details. Um, Another big mistake, and this one happens almost in every reconciliation process, is because you're getting asked the same questions over and over again because this person is trying to process what's happened and move forward, is you might feel the urge to say, just let it go. Why can't you just move on? Well, first of all, you don't have a right to ask them that. You do not have a right to tell this person when they're healed. You are the one that caused their pain, that caused their suffering. I know it might be hard to hear. I understand. But you caused it. You are the reason this person is in a hyper state of emotions because of your actions. You have to accept that. This saying, why can't you just get over, let it go? Well, it sounds great. It's easy for you. You're not the one who had your heart ripped out of your chest. You're not the one who was lied to and betrayed, possibly for months or even years. But you expect this person just to, it's no big deal. Let's just, get over it and go grab a bite to eat. I mean, think about how reasonable a request that is, considering what you've done to this person. Do you really believe that that's the way to go? Do you really believe that you could just get over it? What if you were on the other side? Could you just get over someone cheating on you, of your spouse lying to you, and knowing that they're giving their affection and their attention to this other person for days, weeks, months, maybe even years? And could you just get over that? Don't say this to your spouse. This is very big mistake. It's a very big mistake to say this. Uh, this person has to have time to process their pain, and you don't get to decide when that's over. That's not up to you. That's not your choice. And if you want the truth, it's really not up to them. They can't flip their feelings on and off like a light switch. They can't just say, okay, I'm over it. Or, okay, I'll only be sad for a week. They don't know when they're going to stop being hurt, when they're going to stop being sad. They have no control over that. So if they don't have any control over it, stop telling them to get over it, because you don't have any control over it either. This is something that you did, and you're going to have to accept the fact that you caused this pain, and it's going to take time. You didn't build all this relationship over the course of a day or two or a week. You built this trust, they built this trust with you over a number of months and years and years. And you think it's just going to all fall back into place just because you don't want to hear about it? Not the way it works. Sorry, not happening. So you have to understand that this person needs time to heal. So you have to allow the time to heal. You have to be patient. Uh, you also may experience the ick factor with this person. It's what we call the ick factor. Um, the betrayed may not want you touching them, may not want you set beside of them, especially may not want to be intimate with you. This is also perfectly natural. This is natural because it's a protection mechanism that they have. All of our brains are equipped with the same thing. Uh, the sight of you may disgust them. Also, very possible. The thought of you touching them may disgust them also. Also, very natural. Because when they go through this dramatic trauma, their brain sees a threat when they look at you. And therefore, being intimate with you or anything else becomes very, avoidant in their mind because they see you as a threat. You've hurt them before. So many couples will experience the egg factor after an affair. Most of the time, it goes away within a few months. Not always. Sometimes it can last for, I've heard of cases where it lasted 2 or 3 years. In that situation, it shouldn't last that long if they're really considering reconciling and they're trying to reconcile. My suggestion, and again, this is my personal suggestion, somebody else may tell you something completely different, but in what I've seen of this, if the ick factor is lasting more than 6 months, it's probably a sign that they're not really healing from the betrayal and definitely probably want to either seek counseling or consider ending the relationship completely because they are not processing their pain and healing the way that they need to be. Um, one thing that counselors and coaches tend to leave out when they counsel people is in the fallout of an affair is not see you the same way. This is definitely true. Believe me, I know. You will never see your partner the way you once did. Now, you'll hear plenty of stories of couples that's reconciled and say their marriage is better than it's ever been. I am not disputing that one bit. It absolutely can be. Absolutely. But if these same people tell you that they see the person the same way that they used to, I simply don't believe it. Because now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying, it affects their entire relationship on a daily basis anymore. Hopefully they've moved past that. But to sit and say that, you don't, it, it never crosses your mind, you never think about it, that you're just being disingenuous because it does, no matter how many years ago it was. So they'll never see you the same way they used to. That's true. They won't. Does that mean you can't reconcile and stay together? No, you can. Uh, but you have to realize this up front because the version you used to be is gone. That version of the relationship is gone. You destroyed that. You burnt that down. That's been burnt to the ground. That's just ashes now. So this person has to rebuild with you from scratch. There's no saving the old marriage. This is a new marriage. So you have to realize that they probably never will see you the same way again. Will they think about what you did 5, 10, 20 years from now? Yeah, they will. Um, will it cause a big blow up? It shouldn't. If they've healed, it shouldn't. It'll cross their mind, but they'll learn to, deal with it and heal from it. But healing leaves scars. No matter how much you heal, there's still a scar there. The scar will never go away. So you need to go ahead and accept this right up front because the sooner you accept it, the better off you're going to be, and the better your chances of reconciliation are going to be. Um, People will blame you. Yep, they will. People will blame you, especially children. Uh, if the children are old enough to understand what happened, uh, they're most likely going to hold some resentment toward you for what you did. I know this doesn't feel good, especially coming from your child. Nobody, you know, wants to wants their child to look at them in a bad light. That's very understandable. But you need to accept this reality that the children will blame you. Now, will it be temporary? Will it be permanent? Well, that depends. If you reconcile, then there's a good chance that the children won't hold a grudge. It's not guaranteed, but there's a lot of reconciliation usually leads to the children tending to forgive and not hold a grudge. If you split up and the home splits up because of this infidelity, there's an excellent chance uh they're yeah, they're gonna blame you. Probably for the rest of their lives. I know it's, tough to hear, but it is a result of the choices you made. These are the repercussions. Uh, we don't like those repercussions, but people will form their own opinions. So that's another factor you need to consider. Um, Also understand that your words don't mean anything. Your credibility is completely gone. You have no credibility. Whatever you have said in the past, no matter how many I love yous, no matter how many I can't live without yous, no matter, no matter how many flowers you bought, no matter how many trips to Paris you took, none of that matters anymore because you burned all that to the ground. It's all gone, all gone. Again, I know that's tough to hear, but you did it. It was a choice you made. You have no credibility. The I'd never do it again. I love you. You said all that the first time. Why do you think it would carry any weight now? You agreed the first time. I know you had this talk because everybody has. How about you would never do that? Uh, about they were your world and how special they were to you and things like that. Well, but you did it even after all that. So understand that your credibility is shot. you have no credibility because you have no trust. You destroyed the trust in that marriage. So you need to understand the way to get this back is by rebuilding the trust. And that takes a very long time to do. You didn't build trust in a month or two, and don't think you're going to rebuild it in a month or two, because you're not. It's going to take a long time for your spouse to see you as a trustworthy partner. Can it be done? Absolutely, it can. Will it take time? Absolutely. It will take a lot of time. And what can you do to help your partner trust you more? Well, that comes down to transparency. Your partner knows where you are. There's no secret. They know what you're doing. They know who you're with. Uh, should this person be able to track you? Probably. It would probably give them peace of mind. My wife tracks me, not because she doesn't trust me, but we've done it for a long time, and it doesn't have anything to do with, not trusting each other. It's just uh we know where each other is if somebody, has an accident or something like that. It's just peace of mind. Um, a trustworthy person has nothing to hide. Secrets destroy marriages. You're married. You shouldn't have any secrets. Some people disagree with me when I say you shouldn't have any privacy. The only time you should have privacy in a marriage is when you go to the bathroom. Nothing else is private. You're in a marriage. There's nothing but transparency, because only people with secrets want privacy because they're trying to hide something. You shouldn't be hiding anything from your spouse. So you need to understand, especially after this affair, if they're going to reconcile, they're going to need reassurances. And if you're smart, you'll give them to them, because that's how they're going to heal. If you're still keeping secrets from them after you're trying to work things out and reconcile the marriage, probably not going to work. Probably not going to work, because you have proven you're not trustworthy. So your words don't mean anything. All the reassurances you give them and everything, it doesn't matter, because you said all that before and you lied because you did it anyway. So one of the best things you can do if you want to reconcile this marriage and help this person heal is by being there for them, letting them know you're there, them know you're not going anywhere, letting them know you're you're there for them, and you love them and only them, and you care about them. Because telling them that, like I said, won't mean a thing. That won't matter. It has to be shown to them. And the way you can show it to them is by doing it, holding their hand. When they break down and cry because they're thinking about the affair, hold their hand. I'm sorry I caused you this pain. Take responsibility, take accountability. You might even ask them, would you like me to sit beside you? Would you like me to hold your hand? I know you're going through a rough time because of my actions. Is there anything I can do to make you more comfortable? Things like this show that you're there. It reassures the person that you are committed and you are sincere about helping them through this and rebuilding trust, which is going to take a lot of time. So please keep these things in mind when you're dealing with this sort of thing, because it will only benefit you should this person find it in their heart to reconcile and forgive you for what you did, because they don't have to. But if they find it in their heart that they want to forgive you and they want to reconcile, You have got a ton of work in front of you, a ton of work. And I highly recommend that you get some coaching or something to help you through that difficult time in your marriage. Hopefully, this person will eventually come to see you as a trustworthy person again. But you brought this on yourself. You're going to have to fix it yourself. It's not up to them to just heal on their own. You have to help heal. And you have to help yourself and figure out why this happened in the first place. So I hope this helps somebody who is going through a difficult time in their marriage. Again, my name is Pastor Mike. I'm also a chaplain with Trinity of Christ Ministries. If you like the video, please hit like and subscribe. You can also find us on Facebook and at trinityofchrist.org. Until next time, I hope everybody has a wonderful day. God bless you.